What's good, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to an emergency SNN meeting. It's not the same intro. Usually I do the same kind of intro and I switch it up, but a lot went down. A lot of shit went down. Luckily enough for you guys, it's just one story, but this story has so many layers, has so many questions that are unanswered, and so many, to put it bluntly, so many problems, if I'm gonna be real. So many YouTubers are involved, aren't involved, could be potentially involved, and it all has everything to do with the future of Tottenham. So before we get started, please make sure you like and subscribe because we do want to hit 1K. I don't usually ask for subscriptions, especially at the start of a video, but I need a K, man. Please, I want to get paid. Now, as I said before, it is just one story, and this basically started on Tottenham away. Now, Tottenham away, basically there was supposed to be someone from Change for Tottenham on the panel, because unless you're Patrick Starr himself, living under a rock, then you should know there is a whole ass fucking protest going on Sunday before the United game. Change for Tottenham is hosting it or leading it. And you're probably wondering, Elijah, is this a leave you out chant? Is this a leave you out protest? No, the fuck it's not. It's such a vague concept to the point where people don't know if it's a leave you out thing or if it's a we want Levy to stay and change his ways. And that's important context because people from Tottenham away are more on the leave you out kind of train, whereas it seemed that there were a lot of people who were Levy in, but he has to change. So that was already a level of friction between Tottenham away and Change for Spurs, that whole kind of group. But nevertheless, there was a meeting that was supposed to go on stream, like a panel for a guy called Jay from the Change for Tottenham people. He was supposed to come on and basically stream with them in it to promote, and they were basically going to just promote the whole protest. Now Stell breaks this down, but I'm gonna try and summarize it. He was supposed to appear on Monday, couldn't do it, rescheduled for Thursday. He was supposed to come on at 8:30 on stream, and he basically didn't come on. Like, there was an email that came from one of the higher ups from Change to Tottenham basically saying, yo, he ain't gonna be there. And it pissed Stell off, and it pissed off basically the other people that are part of Tottenham away for obvious reasons. I mean, you've rescheduled twice at this point and the guy didn't come on. You're gonna be pissed. It's natural, I ain't gonna lie. Now, Jay did respond on Twitter. He put up this post here. If you want to pause and read, go ahead, but I'm not gonna read it out this time because there is a lot to get into. But if you don't feel like reading it, it basically explains why he didn't show up. However, this is where it gets interesting. There was someone called Billy who is apparently on Twitter. He's pretty active on Twitter, but he was part of this Change for Tottenham thing as well. And he was on Last Word of Spurs. And basically, Last Word of Spurs were like 30 minutes late to start their live stream. So Stell and the people on Tottenham away were really pressing Last Word on Spurs to the point where Stell basically said, yo, just put Change for Tottenham, shame on you in their chat and spam it.
Their help on and their support from.
Guys,
Not
listen,
us as individuals.
I'm putting a comment in the chat right now. Change for Tottenham, shame on you. Copy and paste and put that in the comments for Last Word on Spurs. Go and put that in the comments over that. Change for Tottenham, shame on you. Because they talk about unity, they talk about us coming together. Who was the person that did a video 4 weeks ago saying nothing will change unless all the YouTubers come together? Ricky Sachs, Chris Cowlin. Who did the video? It was me. I put that video out. And as soon as I did it, suddenly Ricky Sachs like, shit, I better do something. Chris Cowlin, shit, I better talk about the protest. They all started jumping on the bandwagon because I called them all out and said, but you lot don't do anything about it. You moan about Ange, you moan about the wages, you moan about recruitment. All you do is moan, moan, moan. None of you take any action. The only ones that took action were this channel, Tottenham on Tour, and the original protesters who've been doing it 10 years, way before us YouTubers got on board.
So he tells them this, and basically for the entire live stream on Last Word of Spurs, they were spamming this. Like, they were spamming it, spamming boo, all this type of jazz. It just kept going on and on and on, basically for the whole stream, to the point where Ricky had to address it, and he addressed it like this.
Thank you so much. And can I just say, just before I go back round to Bill, I want to make it very, very clear, which Bill did say in his opening line of this show, that Change for Tottenham are a independent organisation where Billy is not the only member to that. And those that are asking me to respond to a question, Billy was booked well in advance of any other show. So just to be very, very clear on this point, because I'm being asked to answer a question, I have absolutely no idea what is going on any other channel or any other platform at the moment. I just want to be very, very clear. that Billy was booked in advance of this episode of Last Word on Spurs, and those that know Billy has been a regular contributor on Last Word on Spurs for nearly over a year now. So I think very, very clear that I answer that question, just to be very, very clear. And as Billy has said in his opening line, there is a member, there is members of an organisation of Change for Tottenham. They do not just represent one person. So just to make it very, very clear that I've answered that question. I am going to move on and bring it back to the topic that we're all here for.
So as you saw, he basically dry dressed it, aka addressed it vaguely. Of course, he has to do a political thing. It's just kind of a vague response, innit? It's what you kind of expect. But Stell was naturally pissed off at the whole situation, which, to be fair, it makes sense. I'm not going to lie. Having someone on who you were already compromising for, and then he ditches you, it's a piss take, no cap. So he's just on demon time, and I'm not going to lie. He brought up Eugene, someone who is pretty chill from what I've seen, but he presses the life out of him. He goes on and about how people have categorized him as this and that and the other and accused him of all such of things.
None of you call out Enoch. You all turned against Pochettino. You all turned against Mourinho. You turned against Conte. You kept shitting on the managers, and you never, ever once turned against the owners. What kind of a fan base are you? And I called them all out, and they all hated me. So I became a paedophile, a rapist, a misogynist, a fraudster, a con man. I hate disabled people. I hate disabled kids. This is the labels I got branded because I called them all out for not talking about Enoch and Levy. And now they've all come to what I've been saying, and this channel has been saying for 5 years. Let's shit on them.
He basically just clears the air entirely. Like, he leaves no room for error in what he's saying. And the reason I made sure to bring up that he had to talk about people accusing him of stuff is because basically a couple hours after the live, or I think it was it even during the live? It might have been either right after the live ended or even during the live. Hotspur Hippie drops a video basically just ripping into Stell. Basically reversed the whole cult thing, because if you guys don't know, people who are Anjin have been labeled cultists. So basically the people who are Anjin have started just reversing that and calling people who are Anj out cultists. It's just the most petty back and forth. I think both sides are cringe when they do it personally, but it is what it is. He talks about all types of shit, whether it's him bullying people, I just hit my mic, whether it's him being a cult leader or his whole channel just being a cult or whatever the hell, talking about how he bullies disabled kids. This is a reference, by the way, to United Spurs of America, who ages ago talked about how Stell basically called his child the R word. Yeah, which is a whole nother thing in itself that I'm just not going to get into because it's not my place to say. But it is important to note that that's what he was talking about. I'm not here to shed light on whether it's true or not. I wasn't even a Tottenham YouTuber when this whole thing went down, so all I can do is just report on what people mean when they say things. I'm a neutral guy, leave me alone. And if we're being honest, he was having a field day, I'm not gonna lie. Hotspur Hippie, he was smiling on the inside. You could just tell, watching the video, he was a happy man that day recording, no cap. So yeah, a lot happened, and it's time to decompress. But it brings up an even bigger issue. These protests, and it's time that I actually speak as Elijah. Apologies for the mad scientist look. I look like fucking Absol. The reason I'm talking to you guys as it is now, and I'm gonna make a proper video talking about it because this is SNN. I don't want to go on about it too much. But the protests that are happening on Sunday, I will be there. I'm not going to stream obviously on that day because I'm going to be at the stadium protesting. This has done nothing but derail the protests, like, completely. One thing I have to give Stell and Sava credit for is basically trying to unite the YouTubers. Like, whether you agree with Stell or not, Sava or not, this ain't the channel for all this politics shit. I don't give a fuck, personally. I ain't got no problem with no YouTuber. YouTubers have problems with me. That's it. One thing I'll always give them credit for is trying to unite the fan base, or trying to unite the YouTubers against a common enemy, which is Daniel Levy. And ever since Sava made that video, that plea, that call for help, I ain't really heard shit from YouTubers. I'm gonna be so real. I haven't heard of any YouTubers making videos saying that they agree. I made my video. I thought a bunch of other videos would come out of people saying they support. But maybe there's a whole private support group where people are just a part of some chat and I'm just not part of it. But from what I've seen, I don't think there's been any type of unification of YouTubers at all. And again, I'm one person, but I've spent so much time watching Tottenham YouTube, whether it's for SNN or whether it's just for making videos in general, or whether it's just so I can just tune into YouTubers, really. I've spent so much time watching Tottenham content and it doesn't feel like anyone's really unified over Levy at all. If anything, it's just become much more diverse. People actually want to get together less. I don't really see any world where YouTubers are going to unite. I don't see it. I think either egos are too big, bridges are just burnt to the point where it's irreplaceable. People just flat out feel lazy and they don't want to do it. I think it's just a mixture of all three, plus maybe some other factors. But yeah, I don't actually think we're ever going to be unified on this thing, man, because YouTube is too political. I'm sorry. People care too much on this YouTube thing. People take it so seriously. And I understand to an extent why, especially if you're a big channel, because if you're a big channel, you got business to run, you got family to feed, you've got employees who depend on you. But for people like me, who I just waffle in front of a camera all day, I don't really see it like that. I'm just chilling. I'm just living life, trying to have fun. And Spurs YouTube is so political. It's a point where I just can't be bothered. Like, I really can't be bothered with all this extra shit going on. It's not really a thing that I care about, and it's not something I'm ever going to care about. I'm never going to have a problem with a YouTuber online unless they go out of their way to try and make something an issue. We all want the same thing. We all want Tottenham to do well. We all want Tottenham to succeed. We just see it differently. That's the way I'm always going to see it unless you personally attack me, which no one has ever done. And I don't think anyone would do because there's no reason to. But that's all I got to say, really. I'm sorry for waffling. But that is all for SNN. I'm going to make sure to make a proper video talking about the protests and talking about Spurs YouTube and all this stuff, because this is stuff that's really just been on my mind. I'm sorry to kind of just trauma dump at the end of an SNN, but it's worth noting at least under a video like this, because hopefully people will watch, you know, and I know watch time is in the mud right now, but I'm hoping at least there'll be some of you who have watched to this point that can at least engage with what I'm saying. Whether you agree or disagree is fine. I have no issue with it, but at least engage with what I'm talking about, man. But hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. I will see you guys, I don't even know, whenever I see you, innit? Peace.
I'm not a savior nor a saint. Told 30s and sticks with an open case. I try to behave when I know I can't. Sole purpose of this is to motivate. What's the ticket? Shit we can negotiate. Take a toke of the law while I pour the drink.